Next, we will go to the Geometry tab. At the first tab is 3D View in Geometry. This allows you to inspect the building model. Using the right mouse button, you can pan the model across the screen. Using the middle mouse button, you can zoom in and out. And using the left mouse button, you can rotate the model. Over here is some additional controls. Changing the orthographic control changes the perspective of the model. This can be useful for selecting specific items based on a view. Let's do the X view. You can see that without orthographic turned on, it shows a more perspective view. Next, there's some additional functions that act as filters or rendering. Right now we have it rendered as a surface type. You can see that the roof is colored a beige color. The walls are brown. Glazing and glass doors are a more transparent color, and the overhead doors are a dark brown color. The floor, the ground floor, is a gray color. If we change the render mode to normal, this is for rendering based on how the surfaces are oriented. Right now, all of our surfaces are oriented properly. Let's get rid of walls. You can see that all of the outside surfaces are gray and all of the inside surfaces are red. If one of our surfaces was accidentally flipped, we would see it show up as red on the outside, and that tells us that we need to correct its orientation. Next, if we go to boundary rendering, this shows you how the energy model will be rendering, how the energy model will treat the surface. Most of the blue is an exterior surface. Let's get rid of walls again. You can see that the interior surfaces are green. Let's get rid of roof. The interior walls are green. The interior floor is brown. I'm sorry, the ground floor is brown. And basically all of the exterior wind-exposed, sun-exposed surfaces are blue. Next, we'll look at render by construction. So this tells you what type of construction it is. The purple are windows. The teal color is a opaque door. And then we also have glass doors, which are colored white. The exterior walls are a grayish brown. The roof is colored pink, and the ground floor is colored olive. This will help you tell if you have additional construction materials located throughout the building that have been specifically assigned to specific spaces. Next, let's look at render by thermal zone. This shows you all of the thermal zones located in the building. These were the thermal zones that we assigned in the very first lesson. You can also see if there's different spaces, but they might be combined into a single thermal zone. Next, we will look at space types. This renders by space type. You can see the apparatus bay is green. All of our plenums are a dark red color. And then we also have storage space, office space, locker and restroom spaces, and a community space. And then we can also render by building story. However, for this example, we only have one building story, so it only shows one color, green. As discussed, you can also apply filters such that you can't see certain surfaces or subsurfaces. If we wanted to get rid of the roof, we would uncheck the roof so we can see inside the building. Let's switch back to render by surface type. Likewise, you can remove the doors and windows. If you do have shading objects in this file, you can remove those shading objects, but we don't have that in this example. That will be for a future lesson. If you have partitions located inside the model, for example office cubicles, those would show up here and you can hide those. We don't have those in this example either. And then finally, you can click this button to show as a wire frame, although I don't know how to use this. Next, let's go to the Editor tab, and we will discuss some of the additional functions that FloorSpace.js has. Let's do an example. For this space type here, this space here, it's actually comprised of two separate spaces, but we originally just created one large storage space. Let's split this into two. First, we will want to delete this space, 105, 106, as well as the plenum, 105, 106. Next, we want to draw in a new space. Let's click the plus button, and we will use the polygon tool this time. Click to begin the polygon. Click, 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 and to complete the polygon, click at the very first spot. Next, let's just create the Tools 106 room. Whoops, messed up. Let's do the undo button, and let's create one more space. Next, we will have to rename these and add in the plenums. Space 1-1. Okay, it appears that the program is moving slowly, or it's even frozen. We can wait for it, or we can try a different approach. Let's go ahead and reopen this. Go back to the Geometry tab. You can see that none of the changes were changed on this. We'll click Save. And what you're going to want to do is go to the file folder of the project that you're working on. Go to the OpenStudio folder where all of the project files are located, and find the floorplan.json file. Double click it to open it in a text editor, and you're going to want to change this show import export to read true. Hit save. And then what we're going to do is open this FloorSpace.js file using an online version of FloorSpace.js. And what we can do to do that is open a web browser, browse to unmethours.com. This will be a good exercise to show you how to troubleshoot problems. Unmethours.com has a lot of people that use OpenStudio and Energy Plus for energy modeling, and likely if you have questions, it has already been answered on Unmet Hours. And we'll just search for FloorSpace.js freezing and select this topic. And you can read through it, but basically FloorSpace.js development team has created an online version of FloorSpace.js, and it simply just uses Java programming, so any web browser can open it. So we will open this link to the FloorSpace.js, and we will open our file, browse to the project folder where the file is located, click open, and now we can see our floor plan. What we will do is, for simplification, let's go ahead and delete this plenum, and I'll show you additional functions that FloorSpace.js has. We're editing these two storage rooms, so let's use the eraser this time, and I'll show you how the eraser works. Simple as that. It erases the space, and then we'll go back to the polygon tool. Well, sorry. Let's duplicate this storage room, and then we'll go to the polygon tool to create a new storage room. And the duplicate tool is very powerful. It allows you to duplicate all of these items that were filled in before, so that you don't have to refill those in. So we've created our we've split this room into two. And then the next thing we will do is go to assignments and let's see, and we will have to create a new thermal zone for this new space. There. Let's go back to floor plan. I'll show you some additional functionality that FloorSpace.js has. If you wanted to create another story for the building, just simply push the duplicate tool. It places the next story right above the first story, and you can edit the attributes of the stories using the expand button. And an additional function that FloorSpace.js tool has is this fill tool. If you have a story above another story, you can use the fill tool to simply copy the previous space below up to the space above. So this apparatus bay on story 1, if we just click the fill tool and click it, it creates another apparatus bay above in story 2. And we can expand this and look at the space. Oh, excuse me. It just creates a space. You'll have to go through and fill in space type construction set thermal zones for that. For this project we won't be using a story 2, so we'll just go ahead and delete story 2. Okay, once you're done editing the floor plan, we can go up to the top and click Save Floor Plan and click Download, and this will download into your Downloads folder. Next, go back to the project folder where your OpenStudio files are located and the FloorSpace.js file is located, and simply go to your downloads folder and cut and paste this into your OpenStudio folder. We will want to replace the file, and then next go back to OpenStudio and reload the project. Go back to Geometry tab, go back to Editor. Okay, and you can see that these are the spaces that we created using the web browser version of FloorSpace.js. We'll just do a preview. This is good to hit this button. I'm not sure what it does, but it refreshes the 3D model. And you can see that those spaces have been added. We'll click Close, Merge with current OSM, click OK, and now we can go back to 3D view and we can see that those spaces have been edited. The last task is to let's go to Spaces tab. And you're going to want to rename those spaces that we created. This one was 105. This one was 106. This is 106 plenum, and this is 105 plenum. And then go to thermal zones, And you'll see that FloorSpace.js created a bunch of extra thermal zones. I'm not sure why that did that. It's kind of a glitch, another glitch I think. But you can simply get rid of those by doing purge unused objects. And then finally we'll save the OpenStudio file, go back to Geometry tab, review our geometry, and you can see that the floor plan has been edited. Thank you, and please like and subscribe.